What's up, comic fam? It is that time of the week where I go over my comic haul and give you a little preview on and review on what I picked up this week. So we're going to go right through the books. But first, we're going to do this. So welcome back. All right, let's get into the books. We got a lot of hot books this week. We got a lot of good books this week. I think we got some really good stuff in this pile. So let's go through it and let's see what we got. All right, first off the bat, we got Avengers number 36. This was strictly a cover buy for me. I have not been reading Avengers, so I'm not going to give you any kind of review on it. But it was a dope cover. It's Alex Ross, timeless variant, Ghost Rider. So I picked this up. The Ghost Rider is one of my favorite characters. I really connect with him. It's one of the first books I got when I was a kid. It's one of the first books that got me into comic collecting. The Danny Ketch Ghost Rider, not the Johnny Blaze. But I thought it was a pretty dope cover to have, so I went and picked up this one. But speaking about timeless covers, I did grab this one and read it. This is Strange Academy 3. This is the Doctor Strange Timeless variant. If you're not reading Strange Academy, it's a good read. It's good for the kids. It's good for the adults. A lot of people have said it's very much like Harry Potter. Harry Potter-esque. There's a lot of magic going on. There's a lot of intrigue. You've got a lot of mystical teachers. And you've got a bunch of kids who are related to magicians, demons, you name it, from the other world. There's fairies, there's trolls, just some kind of mystical creature or magical creature out there. Strange Academy 3, we see the group kind of leave the campus, go out, discover the world. They get into a little bit of trouble, they work together, they resolve the issue, and then the ending shows that things are about to get a lot harder for these students. So there's a lot of stuff going on. There's some secrets that the teachers are keeping from the students. A lot going on. So we'll see where the series progresses. But right now I like where it's going. Scotty Young and Humberto Ramos are doing an excellent job on this series. And that is not the only cover I picked up this week. I picked up the character variant. Shaylee Moonpetal is the character's name. They did one with Dormammu's son, Doyle. So they did one with Doyle Dormammu, and now this is the second one with Shaylee Moonpetal. This is art. This is an Art Adams cover. So pretty cool, little variant edition. I did not get the A cover. I got the timeless Alex Ross, and I got the character version by Art Adams. Alright, moving on. This is a guilty pleasure of mine, Savage Avengers number 12. It's a really cool book. You've got Doctor Strange, you got Dr. Voodoo, you got Elektra in there, and you got Conan the Barbarian. Wolverine was in here earlier in the series, and he makes an appearance towards the end of this. In this issue, it's kind of like, I guess because it's been off for a while, maybe this was an issue that they decided to throw in there, but they're kind of regrouping, they're getting the gang back together. They're coming up with a battle plan, gathering everybody back up, getting their numbers stronger. What makes this book really fun and really cool is you got these different aspects. You got the voodoo and you got the mystical arts. You've got the assassin and Elektra, and then you got Conan the Barbarian. He's just bringing straight up comedy and a bit of seriousness to it. But yeah, it's just a fun overall book to read. The art is okay. And Jerry Dugan does an excellent job writing it. And the artist, Adam Gordon. And the artist, Adam Gordon, is doing a good job. It's not the best art I've seen, but it's good. It's good art. So, it's a pretty fun book. Savage Avengers number 12. Pretty good. I'd say worth a read. X Factor number 4. There was a timeless variant for this one. I didn't get a chance to grab it. I grabbed the B cover. This is a good book because this is part 2 of X of Swords. What can I say about this issue? A lot of good stuff happening here. They're regrouping after part 1, so if you read X of Swords, the first part, you know what happened. A little bit of battling going on. The island of Krakoa has to send its champions to a fight in the other world. A sword duel, if you will. Magic is the first one in the book to step up. Makes sense. She's got her big old sword that she's always carrying. But basically, to stop Krakoa from being invaded by a horde of otherworld invaders, these X-Men or mutants need to get together, a bunch of them with swords, and they got to go fight in this tournament. And this is kind of them figuring out the pieces and putting it back together. We also have a big to-do in this book that has to do with the process of bringing mutants who have passed back to life. So they realize there's some kinks in the system that need to be worked out. So there's some interesting parts of this book, or interesting parts of this series happening in this book. So go ahead, grab this book if you want to follow the X of Swords series. It is 22 parts spread across all the X books. So I think next week there's 3, part 3, 4, and 5 come out next week. So there's lots of books to be had and lots of story to be told. One of my friends described it to me as Contest of Champions, but with swords. And it kind of has that feel, but the stakes are just a little bit higher than that. Next up, we've got the Immortal Hulk, The Threshing Place. This book was written by Jeff Lemire, so not Al Ewing, and it was drawn by Mike Del Mundo, who does some really interesting art. He was on Thor with Aaron, with Jason Aaron. So Mike Del Mundo does the art on this, and he's pretty good. He did Thor with Jason Aaron, so he's had a nice run on a big series. He's an up-and-coming artist, I feel like, if not already there. What I will say about this book is, though you don't need to read it to understand the Immortal Hulk series, this book in its own right is very good. It's very gory, very horror-like, but at the same time is balanced perfectly because it's very touching and really hits those notes that you need to care about the characters. So even though it's a one-shot, there's a lot going on in this book that make you have the feels. So Jeff Lemire does it again. Mike Del Mundo does a great job on the art. This is the Joe Bennett variant cover. This is the cover B. I picked that up because Bennett's the artist who's been doing most of the Immortal Hulk series. So another good book, another good entry into the Immortal Hulk universe. So we're going to move on to DC now, and next up we got Batman, the Joker Warzone #1. I got the Derek Chu variant cover. He does a lot of like digital computerized art, so if you don't like that, just get cover A. But I got this because it basically has the Clown Hunter on the cover, and I'm a big sucker for the Clown Hunter. So what I'm going to say about this book is this is a collection of a lot of small stories. A lot of them kind of have that to be told in 2021 ending. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to set you up for the future of the Bat universe, what's happening in the Batman world, what's going to be happening in Gotham in the future. So it's really good. The Clown Hunter has his first kind of full story told in this book. Not a must-have, but definitely worth a read. And if you're a fan of the Clown Hunter, a cool story is in here, told by James Tynion IV. So grab this if you want to keep yourself kind of updated on what's going to happen in the future, and get yourself a nice little Clown Hunter story. Keeping with that cover B variant cover feel, we've got Wonder Woman 763. This is a Joshua Middleton cover. I just couldn't pass on it. I feel like this one is super duper pretty, super duper awesome. So yeah, I'm just gonna stare at it for a little bit. So I had to pick this one up. I think he really outdid himself with this one. The story told by Mariko Tamaki continues to impress me in here. This is the end of her first arc with the new villain Liar Liar, who's the daughter of Maxwell Lord. Uses mind control to control a bunch of people, basically steals some military computer tech and turns it into an app that can control the minds. And at one point Maxwell Lord is like, what's wrong with your generation taking military tech and turning it into an app? But very cool book. The arc ends nicely. We have Maxwell Lord at the end of this joining up on the side of the good guys. He's had a vision though, and his vision, you can tell, is kind of influencing his decisions. So he's a good guy, but who knows for how long. or if he's really going to stick with it. We'll see. It's a story for the future, and I like that she's setting up future stories in this. Carlo Barberi did the artwork and the cover by Joshua Middleton. It's a cool story. If you're going to read this, I believe it starts with 760 or 759. So make sure to grab 3 or 4 issues of the story arc. But it's worth it. It's worth a read. I like it. There's a character variant for Liar Liar that's out there. It was hot. I don't know if it's still hot or not. It's a 1 in 25. But if you can find it, it might be worth the investment to grab that. Lastly, from DC was a book that I was really crossing my fingers and hoped that it panned out. And it did. We've got Batman, The Three Jokers, Part 2. Awesome book. Awesome. Jeff Johns, Jason Fabek, Brad Anderson, killing it with the colors in this book. They're telling a really good story. In this one, they're kind of dealing with the repercussions of what Red Hood, Jason Todd did in the first book. I won't give it away this week, but when book 3 comes out, if you haven't caught up by then, just shut off the sound or mute me at this point, because I'm going to tell you what he did in issue 1. Spoiler alert warning for the future. I'm going to start going real deep into this book. But the whole crew is kind of dealing with what these Jokers have done to them in the past and how they're responding to the Joker now. And there's 3 of them running around, or multiples of them running around. Kind of 2 of them in this story. But then there's a whole horde of them. But basically, they're dealing with their emotions and what the Joker has done to them over this long period of time. Really cool story. Really worth a read. It is not disappointing yet. Please keep it up, Jeff Johns. It's a really intriguing story. I'm digging it. This is DC Black Label. And if you grab that book, you should have got your player card this week. Got the Batgirl and the Joker with hearts. It's a little risque card if you know the history between them. And just so you know, this was the first issue's card with Batman and the Joker. And you got the spade. So, to that, we're going to move on to the indies now, guys. It's indie time. Whoop, whoop. Alright, so we got Spawn 310. Todd McFarlane writing that. Art was done by Jim Munez. It's a good book. It's basically like a break in the action. Spawn is kind of reminiscing on what it means to do this mission that he's on. And he takes She-Spawn, Jessica, out and kind of just shows her some really messed up stuff. I think he becomes a little bit disappointed in himself because he's like, I've ruined another life. But at the same time, he's like, I had to show her this because I needed to know she was strong enough to finish this mission with me, that she was strong enough to see this through to the end. So Spawn, he's getting a little nuanced, the book. So I like that. It almost lost me after like 301. I was kind of falling off, and some reason I stayed with it. It was on the pull, and I'm glad I did because the last 2 or 3 issues have really turned it up for me. I don't know if it'll continue. I don't know if there'll be a big letdown in the end, but right now I'm liking it. So Spawn 310, worth a read if you want to jump on it. And I did manage to grab cover D, which is it's just a black and white variant, store exclusive. Not a store exclusive. It's I guess it was a couple per store. Like for every 5 or something you ordered, you got one of these. So maybe it's a 1 in 5. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, I managed to grab one. Spawn 310. Awesome. My local shop had it just out on the shelves. I think didn't realize it was an exclusive, and I was like, hey, cover D, it's an exclusive, and he still sold it to me for 20% on the cover. So because of my pull and everything. So that was cool of him. Thanks for hooking me up. So this is Ninja Spawn. And Ninja Spawn and Gunslinger Spawn do not appear in this issue at all. They're just cover art. But should pop up eventually. Was on a cover in the past. Has popped up as recently as the last issue. And will probably be back at some point. And last, well before that, let me go back to my other books. Marvel, my favorite Marvel book of the week was Immortal Hulk, The Threshing Place. Like Like I said, well-balanced book. Jeff Lemire just continues to amaze me. Did it again on another book. For DC, I would say Three Jokers. Definitely one of my favorite. Very thought-provoking book. So that's there. It's awesome. And anytime you have the Bat family and the Joker going at it, you got an A+ book, in my opinion. So now we're getting into my read of the week, though. It's an indie. This book, wasn't sure what was going to happen with it. Read it. Blows my mind. We have Department of Truth, #1. This is the Jenny Frison B cover. I just went with a lot of B covers this week, guys. Normally, I'm like, if you don't know what to pick, get an A cover. But there were so many beautiful B covers this week. So we got Jenny Frison, again, on the cover for Department of Truth. James Tynan does an excellent job in this book. And Martin Simons on the art. There's some really wacky art in there, but it really fits the motif and the theme of the book. Basically, we have Cole Turner, who's an FBI agent. He's being questioned about these events that have happened to him. And it's all about conspiracy theories and how conspiracy theories can become truth. But they're only truth if people believe them. If people don't believe them, then they just stay conspiracy theories. You got to read it to really get this for yourself. I don't want to give it away. But it turns out that Lee Harvey Oswald is the director of this Department of Truth, and this agent has just been recruited. They were basically testing him to see if he was ready to be part of this agency. Really good read. Kind of mind-blowing. I can't wait to see where it goes. Like I said, this is the Jenny Frison cover, cover B. Definitely worth a pickup. Cover A is cool. There's a lot of 1 in 10 variants that are very similar to the cover A. So if you go there, if you go to the shop, maybe they're confused and they put them out. So you'll see JFK's on the cover A, but Lee Harvey Oswald is one of the cover B's. I forget who else the other covers are. There's like 3 different 1 in 10 covers. I believe one is just straight up like a 1 in 10 different look with Lee Harvey Oswald and some symbolage behind them. That was such an awesome book, and I was so glad to pick this up, but I got Department of Truth, the 1 in 50 Mirka Andolfo cover. I think she's really underrated. She's an amazing artist. She's doing Mercy. She did Unnatural. So yeah, I managed to pick up this Department of Truth, 1 in 50. For under ratio price, I mean, there's a million of these books out there, though. This is one of the higher ordered books. So the price of it probably should be on the ratio. There's going to be a ton of these out there. The 1 in 100 is also really cool. Look out for that one. If you can grab that one, definitely grab the 1 in 100. But yeah, I can't say enough good things about this book, but I don't want to give too much away right now. Gave you a little review, though, of what it's about. And it's really all about conspiracies, and it's going to play with conspiracies that we know of, and like the moon landing and the assassination of JFK. So there'll be some stuff that we're familiar with, flat earth theory, and it's going to play around with those, and it's really going to explain the theory in that book of how these theories or conspiracies can become true, but also how they keep them from becoming true. So really a good book, really excellent book. If you didn't get it, go get it. I'm pretty sure your shops have a ton of them because of all the ratio variants that were out there. It was definitely one of the higher ordered books this week. Those are my pickups for the week. Those are my reviews for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed them. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it 100%. I read every single one of those books except for the Avenger book, just so I can sit here, film this, and tell you enough about them without giving away too many spoilers. Again, get that Immortal Hulk, The Threshing Place. You don't need it to understand the Immortal Hulk, but it is a well-written book, beautifully drawn, definitely worth a read. Don't know where it's going to go spec-wise, but we're just talking about straight-up great book. Three Jokers, again, didn't disappoint, worth a read. Jason Todd gets kidnapped by the Jokers in that book. You can only imagine what happens to him. Really worth a read there. And then Department of Truth, that is the truth. Hashtag truth on Department of Truth. that is my read of the week. So, you guys let me know what you got that I missed. I know I missed Philadelphia this week. Just forgot to grab it. It should have been in my pull. I forgot to ask for it. So, but we're going to get that. So I forgot that. But let me know what you think. What's good. If I missed anything. What's bad. If you didn't like anything. You disagree with me on something. Let me know. Make sure to throw a like. Throw a share. Hit that notification bell. And don't forget, I'm coming out with content now on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and some weekends. So it's always going to be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and then look out for some bonus content on the weekends. So anyway, do what you do. I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to go read some more books once I find some, because I already finished these. But I'm sure I got some books somewhere in one of my boxes that I haven't read. Peace!